33rd edition of the Ronline Report. Welcome, welcome. I am very pleased to have as our guest this time one of the living legends of the sport, 8-time Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Lee, welcome to the Ronline Report. So happy to have you.
Well, Ron, it's always a pleasure to be here, man, and thank you so much for inviting me.
No, you're welcome. This is my honor, as always. Where to start? We've been talking, the sport's had some younger guys coming into it lately, but I want to put some things into perspective because some of these young guys may not realize.
Let me go ahead and tell you now, I got a problem with that Gaspari shirt you got on.
Okay.
I mean, it should be a Lee Haney shirt. What is this?
I'll tell you, Lee.
Gaspari shirt.
Rich has been very good to me. I love Rich. Love high tech.
I love high tech too.
Send me a Lee Haney shirt. I promise you I'll wear it the next time we talk.
Okay, I'll let you pass on that one.
So I want to put things in perspective for some of these fans, the young kids who might not know the history of all this. You were Mr. Olympia at 24 years of age, Mr. Olympia, and you retired with 8 Mr. Olympia titles at only 31 years of age. That's something I'm pretty sure we're never, ever going to see. I'm not even going to say in this lifetime, in any lifetime ever again. Would you agree?
You know, it's going to be a hard nut to crack, but I can't see it happening because when I look at the training systems and the physiques of today, it's totally different. For today, for instance, I'm working with a young man he's 29, almost 30, and I met him at the Arnold a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And he sent me some pictures so I can take a look because I do some online coaching from time to time. And what I saw in his physique was a big physique, but no muscle maturity. So that's something that I see quite a bit. And then after analyzing these programs, you see why. And I said, what in the heck are you doing? What kind of training philosophy are you guys using? And it has made its way to the stage. So to see a physique that's polished, finished, with great separation, muscularity, that's a rarity. And will we see it again? Only if the athletes of today go back and pick up training as it was handed down by the bodybuilding legends.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot in your column in MD. It's back in your era and in the Arnold era, the days of Robbie Robinson, Franco Columbu, Draper, that whole generation, it was very common to train body parts 2, even 3 times a week. You were famous for doing twice a week. You trained every body part, and you believe that that's why yourself and the men of those eras had superior muscle quality, separation, and detail. Is that right?
That's exactly right, because, and again, what I'm saying in these programs, these guys may train each body part once every 7th day.
Yeah.
What in the heck is that? You develop maybe a big muscle, but that is more or less in line with a powerlifting type of system, which you get big muscles, but you don't get finished muscle with separation and cross striation as we was taught to have, years ago in our sport.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about the physiques of today versus yesteryear. The guys now are definitely much, much larger. But, bigger isn't always better. I mean, do you see the physiques that have been doing well on the pro level now for the past 20 years or so? We got guys in the height range of 5'8" to 6 foot, anywhere between 250 to almost 300 pounds on stage now. Do you think that the mass at all costs mentality has really taken a toll on the quality of the physiques?
Well, I think it has taken a toll on the quality of the physiques, but also the quality of the bodybuilding industry, or the life of the bodybuilding industry. When you go to bodybuilding shows now, on the amateur level, most shows that I go and I, talk to the athletes and get a chance to see what's happening out there, very few is now moving into the bodybuilding arena. Most of them are deciding to go more towards physique and classic physique, because they don't like the way that the bodybuilding movement has gone. But I'm happy to see what's happening now, because with classic physique, which is now on the way also, classic bodybuilding is sort of resetting where it should have never left from day one.
So, I mean, that's the fact that you bring that up. It makes me wonder the fact that classic physique was created, and that's and to another extent, men's physique prior to that. This is where the V taper and a small waist and broad shoulders is the ideal. So does that mean, bodybuilding's never going to go back? Open bodybuilding's never going to go back to that ideal with the small waist and being able to hit a vacuum and things like that?
Bodybuilding will go back to that. Right in the midst right now is being created the classic bodybuilding division. Back to where it should have never gone. Yes, 254 pounds, but I had a 32-inch waist. Yeah. Vacuum, Frank Zane look, Arnold, because I imitated Arnold and Robbie Robinson. All of those had that nice taper. And it took us over a period of time to maintain that look as we started to put on, a little bit more quality size. One of our articles that we done not long ago, I talked about the fact that, from 1984 when I won the first Olympia at 243 pounds to 1991 when I won the last Olympia at 254 pounds. Yeah. It took 8 years to put on 11 pounds. Yeah. So that says a lot, but that was the demand at that particular time. If you wanted to put on size, you still had to have your taper. You still had to have your vacuum. You still had to have the separation and the quality of the physique. So now you see mass monsters, but you don't see the fine detail. So every now and then you see that pop up. You do see it. Not saying it don't exist. It does exist, but for the most part, it's guys that were sort of on the tail end. When you look at Dexter Jackson, it exists with Dexter. That's why they call him the Blade. This is a refined physique. It took time. I mean, Dexter is 47 years old, 46.
He's 47. Yeah.
I mean, beautiful. It took him time to create that. Then you look at the physiques of, let's say, Phil. Phil looks great. I like Phil's look. You have quality there, great separation. He works his tail off. Phil started as a guard. He was a guard playing basketball. Yeah. So he wasn't a mass guy. So what he developed, it took him over a period of time. He had to stay with the systems of getting there too. Yeah. So I really feel bodybuilding has made its way back. The outcry of people wanting that nice, polished, quality look has been heard, and it's being answered right now. Yeah. Now, it haven't all hit yet, but it's on the way, and it's coming real fast, and so that's a great thing.
Now, you were at the Arnold Classic in Ohio a few weeks ago. Right. Cedric McMillan was a guy that you've been following since he turned pro back in, I believe it was 2009. And, he showed a lot of promise then, but we were all kind of waiting to see when he would reach his full potential and show us what he was capable of. Do you feel he did that? And do you have a lot of hope for Cedric moving forward as someone who's possibly going to threaten Phil for the Olympia title?
Well, if Cedric have what we call it in the old days, the eye of the tiger, yeah, along with that physique, he'll be unstoppable. Does he have the eye of the tiger to go with his physique? It has taken him too long to get where he's gotten. Eye of the tiger would have hit a long time ago. Branch Warren don't have the same kind of physique, but he'll slaughter you on stage. You better not even get close to him. And because of that intensity level, it has allowed him to take his physique beyond what was, there's no comparison to him and Cedric as far as the type of physique and the type of structure. Yeah. But he became the best that he could be with what he had. Right. So did Rich Gaspari with me. Rich knocked on my door several years. He didn't have that type of potential, but bump potential when it comes to work, dedication. Rich defied the odds. Branch Warren defies the odds. Cedric was given a gift. He was blessed with the perfect high-end, the perfect genetic blueprint. When I saw Cedric for the first time pose a few years back, it brought tears to my eyes. I'm like, what in the world? Wow. What a breath of fresh air. But then to see him sort of, you know, teeter along the way of maybe, you know, not being in his best shape and sort of go forward and then take a few steps back and, you know, teeter and tottering. You know, you don't teeter totter when you got the eye of the tiger.
Yeah.
You're there to kill and to eat some meat.
Right. Okay. You know, the Arnold Classic last year was the first year that posing was judged, and supposedly this was going to make the guys work a lot harder on the posing, which is something we've talked about many times in the past too, is that, you know, in the 70s, the 80s, and even leading a little bit into the 90s, posing was an art form. It was something that you guys put a lot of time and attention and, you know, almost as much effort as the training and the diet. It was considered equally important. Do you think the guys of today, now that it's being judged at the Arnold shows, are starting to put a little bit more time and effort into their presentation and posing?
Yeah, this year I was very pleased with what I saw on the stage. The guys really went all out, putting together some real nice posing routines. And, you know, kudos to Cedric. He did a fantastic job. I mean, he posed big. I mean, everything he did was right on time. He took his time. So I was extremely proud of him. And that win, he won hands down. You know, Dallas looked great. Dallas was big. I think Dallas, he still got a young physique. Need to be just a little bit more refined. But I love the way he tapered. He's a big man with a great taper, which says a lot. That's a rarity. Yeah. I mean, so he's going to be one to be reckoned with because he got the out of tiger real early. Yeah. So with the posing routines and so forth, it's gotten a lot better. And I think since emphasis has been placed upon that, as it was in the past, you're going to see more and more of that. One of the big guys that I miss a lot is Dennis Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
It's brought the house down every time. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's rare to see a big guy that really puts that kind of passion into his presentation. So I really miss seeing Dennis. He did an awesome job every time he hit the stage.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's coming back. I mean, he had that very serious neck injury. He, you know, had to stop training for a long time, and he had surgery. I'm hoping he makes it back. He was one of my favorites too. One thing I want to talk about. I don't think we've ever actually told this story. All those times we did the column, I don't know why we never even brought it up. Was, you know, people talk about politics and the Olympia's, some will say the Olympia's fixed. It's about which company you're with and this and that. I think the greatest debunking of that is your situation in 1991. You had been a Weider nutrition athlete from the time you turned pro, I believe, correct? 84 right. Or 83? All the way through early 1991. Is that when you switched over and Steve Bleckman signed you to Twin Lab? Is it?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
And so everybody, I remember the gossip, everyone saying Lee's going to lose the Olympia. They're not going to let him win now. You know, were you ever concerned that was going to happen?
Well, you know, I heard the same gossip you heard.
Yeah.
Saying that, well, you know, if you don't sign with Weider, you're not going to win. But having had the opportunity to get to know Ben Weider, to be involved with Joe Weider, to be involved with one of the most awesome pioneers of our sport, being Mr. Jim Mannion, which I have the highest of respect for. And the judges, in which I've had a chance to visit their countries, you know, chance to see their kids and see them in, you know, not on the stage as a judge, but in their relaxed times and so forth. Yeah. I felt in my heart that these were, and still feel today, these were men of integrity. I also felt that about being Weider. So if I brought my very best package, it would be undeniable that I would walk away in victory, you know, because if that not being the case and I was at my very best, then it would not have looked good for our sport. And so the right thing did happen. Yeah. You know, I was in the best shape ever, I think, for the last Olympia. I had to be, you know, because I had during, you know, sniffing around. so anyway, the right thing did happen. And yes, I did step away from the Weider Corporation and became part of the Twin Lab family. with Mr. Steve Blakeman, and it was an awesome opportunity and proved to say that the IFBB is truly a organization of integrity and honor.
Okay. Now, I've always wondered this. How did you know you went out on top, which is such a rare thing for any professional athlete, but particularly in bodybuilding? A lot of times we have guys, Jay came back, didn't win again. Ronnie, it's very common for guys to keep going and to try to get their title back. You went out with the record. You had just beaten Arnold Schwarzenegger's record. You looked the best you'd ever looked, and you were still just 31 years old. Was it a tough decision? How did you decide that was going to be your final Mr. Olympia?
Well, Ron, I didn't have any more room over on the hearth of over my fireplace. Yeah. No more room. I just had enough room for 8. But on a serious note, after doing 8, I felt in my heart, okay, so what are you going to do next? Another one to make a 9th one or a 10th one? It's time to say something else and to use the success that you had there on the stage and use it in other areas of your life. So it was at that point that I was given an opportunity to do a health and fitness show, workout show on ESPN. Then went on to do speaking engagement. I was shown the Trinity Broadcast Network, Sports South. I was appointed chairman to the President's Council. So I used my success as Mr. Olympia to grow and blossom into other areas. So it was time to leave. You can't stay too long. Mm-hmm. If you met the vision that you had in your head, and that was my vision. Of course, it wasn't that when I first started. At first I said, man, you just win Olympia, that would be awesome. So I did 1. Then I said, well, man, if you can get 3, okay, you're tied with Frank Zane and, legends such as himself and with Sergio Olivier, that would be, that would be bad. Then after I hit 3, I said, 5 would be real good. When I hit 5, I said, well, okay, let's go for it. And then when I hit 7, I never will forget, I sat down with my wife, Shirley, and I said, well, baby, I've done 7. 7 in a row is a record in itself, but still I realized I only have 7 overall. So do you think I should do an 8th one? And Shirley looked at me and said, what do you mean, do you think? Of course you got to do an 8th. What's the matter with you? I was almost embarrassed. Yeah. You got to understand Shirley. She's an athlete, so she don't believe in backing up or being second best. So at that, I went on to win the 8th Olympia, and after that, I had nothing else to say other than thank you, and I'll see you in the next journey of what I want to do, of the next chapter of what I hope to go on and achieve.
So, you had 8, Ronnie got 8, and that seemed like it was a magic number. It would take someone a long time to beat that record. We have Phil Heath now with 6, and, so far, he's been winning pretty handily. He's been pretty much dominant almost every time. I mean, Kai's pushed him real hard a couple times, for sure. But it looks like it's pretty possible he could go on and get 9, maybe even 10. What do you foresee that happening? I mean, and what would that mean if someone has 10 Mr. Olympia titles?
Well, I tell you what, that's extraordinary. That's what it means.
Yeah.
But it also means, too, to a certain extent, I don't see many challengers out there for Phil at the time.
Right.
I mean, Phil is really honed in on peaking perfectly. The formula that he uses to prepare is out of this world. Yeah. He knows his body. He knows the science of exactly what he needs to do and when he needs to do it. I've seen Kai. I think Kai got an incredible physique. Lat spread, side chest, double bicep, legs out of this world. Presentation, the whole nother world as it relates to comparing to anybody that I've seen. Yeah. However, he still haven't refined the art of peaking. Phil has. Yeah. If Kai peak and he learned how to peak perfectly, he could be the one that could upseat Phil. But Phil is not going to hand him anything, because once you're on top, there's nowhere to go but down. And Phil's not thinking that way at all. So Yeah, he could easily go on and win the Olympia 8 times, maybe even 10.
Yeah.
You know, if he can stay healthy, keep his back and his knees and hips nice and healthy, he can do it as long as I feel he wants to. As long as he got the fire and the desire, he can do that. Cedric, I think, has that type of a physique, but you know, as far as his ability to home in, to compete perfectly, nobody's mastered that like Phil yet. I don't see nobody in the field has done that. Other than I like the young man who Flex Lewis.
Yeah,
I
212.
think Flex should be up there on the stage with the rest of the Olympians. Yeah, take it he's 212, but he has everything. And he's hard, crisp. I mean, he leaves nothing behind. He's got everything.
I want to ask you about the 212 division because, you know, when you were competing, there was no weight class. It was all open. You know, in your rookie season, you were beaten by 170-pound Muhammad Makaway once or twice, I believe. Lee Labrada, 180 pounds, 185 pounds, pushed you really hard. Sean Ray was probably never more than around 210, 215 or so. So back then we had some lighter guys. If you go back further, you got Danny Padilla, Franco Colombo. There was no need for a lighter weight class, but had there been one, these guys would have obviously been able to have their own world titles. Do you think that this 212 division or something similar to it should have been part of the IFBB pro bodybuilding all along?
I know back in the day when Franco and Arnold competed in 2 different divisions. It was created back during that time too, but I don't think it should have ever been done.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of times, I think when we got into that mass movement, the guys who wasn't as tall or as big were somewhat gotten overlooked.
Yeah.
And I think the 212 was created to give them a voice, but it was a voice that was created out of the fact that bodybuilding sort of went in a direction that was more mass instead of, instead of detailed definition and the total package.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think nobody's stopping Flex Lewis from competing in the regular Mr. Olympia competition.
Right.
I think he need to put his big boy pants on and jump his tail over there. I think Flex would do excellent.
Yeah. I mean, people speculate all the time.
Yeah.
How well would he do?
Yeah, I think a lot of other guys would too.
Right.
So hey, man, there's still giant killers out there.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about what you've been up to. You've been a contest promoter for many years. I want to say since you retired, you've been promoting shows, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But
yes, some of a different type. Because we started with a team challenge, doing things for teenagers, obstacle style racing, flipping tires, pushing vehicles, as a way to help promote and bring attention to what I have called Haney's Harvest House, which is a non-profit organization for kids. We set up a mentoring program for boys. Yeah. And that has now grown into what is now Lee Haney's Physique and Fitness Games.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, tell us, is this your third, fourth year doing it?
This is the 3rd year. This is the 3rd year. We're very proud of the event. The first year we had 200 athletes. That didn't include strongman.
Yeah.
The 2nd year, we had 390 athletes. So we sort of doubled in size as far as the event. This is the 2nd year. So this year, we could have over 500, maybe 600 athletes. Wow. But we've also expanded to strongman, powerlifting, arm wrestling, dance. We also have the International Chiropractic Association that is now joining forces with us, just as they have with Arnold in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. So we have them involved with us too. We had Steve Harvey as our title sponsor the last 2 years, and we've had people like Power Block, Harbinger, the glove company. We've also had benefits, resource planning, the originator of European Health Spa and Super Fitness. You know, we've had just a lot of great people to come on board and be a part of it.
So this is on a smaller scale, not dissimilar to like the Arnold Sports Festival. You got a lot of different activities. You got a lot of different types of athletes coming down. Is this how many days does this event take place over?
This is a 2-day event now.
2 days.
And it's something for everybody. We even got a kids zone, something for kids and teenagers. This year we're going to be adding a sort of a CrossFit type of event that'll be going on too. And we're looking to also do a combine, a miniature combine, a junior combine.
Wow.
Where we have a lot of the NFL players out being involved and working with the kids. So man, we are just super excited about what we're doing, you know, and a big shout out to Jan Tanner. You know, Jan has been with us since we started from day one. Of course, this is a NPC qualifier.
Yeah.
So Mr. Mannion is very much on board with helping this show to become a big success because it is a way in which we raise funds for Haney's Hardest House.
Yeah. Excellent. What's the website for that, Lee, where people can get more information?
Excuse me?
The website where people can get more information on your event.
Okay, LeeHaneyGames.com.
Easy enough. Yeah, you just mentioned football. Man, I don't think a lot of people know that your son, Joshua, he is a professional football player, is he not?
Yeah, he finished at the Citadel, played wide receiver there and also quarterback. And then he went on to Italy to play for the Bolzano Giants for a while there. And, of course, he retired after getting injured. Helmet to the jaw. He said, hey, that's enough, Dad. That's enough of that. So he's back now helping. As a matter of fact, it's Josh with his organization called Herculean Strategists that run Lee Haney's Physique and Fitness Games.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it must be nice having your son work with you and be part of all this.
Oh, it is, man. I tell you, having Josh by my side has made a world of difference. You know, he keeps me on my toes. It keeps me fresh and new as far as the industry, social media, all of those things is concerned. And then then I have my daughter Olympia.
Yeah, I didn't want people to forget that you also have a daughter.
Olympia's beautiful, 26 years old. She's an event planner. So she's very much a part of helping to put this event together also. And I mean, I'm truly blessed to the fact that I have both of my kids involved, along with my beautiful wife Shirley, who is the CFO. You know, she holds the wallet and so forth. So it's a lot of fun.
Cool. I'd like to wrap this up because I consider you one of the wiser people that the new generation should really listen to when you speak. So I'd like you to address this up and coming generation of top amateurs and pros, and just briefly give them your top piece of advice, what they can do to be better people, better athletes, and to make this sport better.
You know, I know that in my heart of hearts that humility goes a long way. You know, that's something in my private talks with Mr. Weeder, because I spent a lot of time at Joe's office. And, you know, after his passing, you hear all the other guys, Jay Cutler, everybody said, well, you know, Joe said this, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I was this guy. You know, I thought I was his only guy. Yeah. Because that's the way I felt when I was around Joe, that I was the only one at that particular time there in front of me. Took me out to lunch, worked on me with posing, and they always pressed upon me the importance of staying humble. Humility is an awesome force to have. It makes all the difference as far as gaining, you know, positive favor, you know, and favor is a good thing to have. Matter of fact, I was in a discussion with my dear friend Rich a few weeks ago, and we did some video filming while we were there in Columbus. And of course, Rich is now joined forces with High Tech. High Tech is now working with Rich Gaspari Nutrition. Yeah. And just in our conversation, Rich said, you know, the owner of High Tech would love to sit down and meet with you, Lee. I'm like, oh, really? He said, yes, he's there in Atlanta. I said, here in Atlanta? He said, well, wow. I said, Rich, set this up. So Rich gave him a call. I went down, met with Jared, Mr. Jared Wheat. And so we're talking. I said, Jared, I got my event coming up, the games, and, you know, I would love to have you involved. He said, better than that, I'll be your title sponsor. Wow. So just like that, High Tech is now the title sponsor of Lee Haney Physique and Fitness Games. But one thing that Jared said to me during the meeting, he said, Lee, I love your heart. I know what you're all about. You've been a great person out there in the community. So when you do good things and you're about the business of helping people, of being real, then people hear about that. And because all of us gonna have a need sometime or the other, be it a favor or a phone call or whatever.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you don't burn your bridges. You want to treat people the way you want to be treated. And you want to work hard. Convenience is made through inconvenience. Success don't fall out of the sky and hit you on the head. You got to go get it. And so going to get it is what I push with these young guys, but get it with humility, get it with honor, get it with integrity. And at the end of the day, you don't have to be looking behind your back or wondering if, who you pissed off along the way.
Oh, boy. Well, I think you summed it up perfectly, Lee. I hope everyone out there listened and took that to heart. Couldn't have said it better. Congratulations on the games, a success. We'll be talking more about those later on in the year because this is October. What are the dates?
October 27th, 28th.
Okay.
In Atlanta, Georgia. We have it up on LeeHaneyGames.com.
Cool. So everybody check that out, especially if you're in that area. You're definitely going to want to be part of that. Lee, thank you so much for being a guest on the Ronline Report. Always a pleasure. I want to add, you're one of the few people that I speak to where I come away from the conversation always feeling better. You're just so positive, so motivating, such a good person. I don't care if this sounds corny to people watching this, but every time I've ever talked to you, I hang up the phone and I feel better. So it's good to have people like you in this world, Lee. Thank you for being you.
Well, thanks, Ron. God bless you, brother. And God bless all of you out there listening. Take care. Make sure you pray.